Hey everyone, Vortex TCG here, and today I'm going to be showcasing you the second match of my locals, featuring myself playing Dark Knight and my opponent playing Grandis. And if you like this content, please do feel free to like and subscribe to the channel. Anyways, my opponent's going to start off first. They're going to go into the green memory boost, showing off Kabu, Mega Kabu, Terrier, and the Mimi. I'm going to go for the promo here. And yeah, pretty good start to the turn, finding the pieces. I will say that this person is still learning their deck, so just as a heads up, guys, and that's what I'm going to say. I get to start off now. I go into the Pagumon here, and then I go into the Monitormon here, and I feel like my opponent is struggling with resources here because, quite frankly, I don't think they can. I feel like they would have played the level 4 if they had it, and I'm looking at the hand right now, obviously, as you can see, and they only have the hybrid level 4, so not the greatest for sure. And so I play the Izzy Azumi here, and then I just play the Prime Memory Boost to reveal top 4 or top 3 even. And then got a bit of a choice here because part of me does want to just play like the Chikuri, but it doesn't really matter, I don't think. So I go into the Dark Knight to pass the turn. Then my opponent gets, I believe, another hybrid there, so not going great, I would say. So what they do is they just go into the I don't know which one is that exactly, but it costs 3 to go into, and then they go into the Akawamon and passes the turn. So I get to go now, just thinking if I want to promote after drawing. And I think in this case I probably will end up promoting. I've got a lot of resources on board potentially, so I think it's a good time to promote, especially as there's an OTK turn coming up, I assume. Swings into security, hits the X antibody, get the Pagu search, but unfortunately it whiffs. Then got a bit of a choice here. So I go into the Cavalier mode. I really like Cavalier mode in this deck because it essentially allows me to go for turns like this where I can swing for double checks for jamming. So it's really good. Again, my opponent is still somewhat new to this deck and to the game, so that they don't realise these effects, quite frankly. But I hope you guys still enjoy the gameplay either way. So you get the 2 swings off there, and then I go into a Deadly Axemon here, getting off the search here. So I get the Dark Knight, there's a Skull Knight there, so I'll add those 2 from the top 5 to the hand. And so my opponent is in a bit of a predicament because I think they don't have the Grandis in hand. I think they just have the promo. So they end up just going into the stack in raising. They play the Bancho here in their deck, as you can see. So an interesting choice for sure. Not too sure how many Grandis decks are playing the Bancho, but still quite interesting. But what they do is that they just decide to hope that that can't win in this situation, essentially. So they go into the promo to pass the turn. Not too sure how I feel about that play. I feel like they should have definitely at least promoted to get rid of the Skull Knight, and then wouldn't have been able to swing potentially. It is what it is. I go into the Cavalier mode again, because you can put them on top of another level 4. I swing with 2 checks, hoping that there's nothing there. There isn't anything there, and we go to game 2. We then get into game 2, and my opponent gets to start off again. Goes into the green memory boost. Didn't have a rookie there, I presume, so pretty unfortunate for sure. I think they just searched it off with the green memory boost. So I get a pretty good start here. I go into the Chikurimon in raising, and then I just hard play the Deadly Axemon so I can get some searches, but unfortunately I only get 1 search. It is a pretty good one, to say the least, in the Mighty Axe mode, but was definitely hoping for more. They top deck into the Kuwagamon, I think it's called. Then they go into the hybrid again. I assume they didn't have another level 4, which really does suck. And then pass the turn. So I promote the Chikuri, swing into security. It does die, so I get to swing and then get the Pagumon search. And what I'm realizing is that the Pomu is going to be a big problem for my deck, because essentially when my Dark Knights swing and they die, I need them to play out other guys essentially. So the Pomu doesn't allow me to do that. So I'm definitely worried about that threat coming down for sure. So they just go into the level 5 for 2, pass the turn to 1 in memory. So I go into the Pagumon, go into the Chikuri in raising, and I'm feeling pretty okay in this situation. I go into the Cavalier mode just so I can get another body underneath, so I can get some inheritables going. I feel like at this point I'm in a really good situation. I have obviously, the Tumon, which is the major answer to the memory boost, and they can't get any memory from additional effects. So I'm definitely feeling like I'm in a very good situation here. So I was going to attempt to swing, but I do swing here actually. Nothing in security. I had jamming anyways, and then I go into the DarkKnightmon to pass turn. This is just because if they do attack over the Dark Knight, it just means that they can't really do much about it. So definitely feeling a bit better about my situation now. Looking at their hand, they don't seem to have that much, unfortunately. They got multiple hybrid cards in their hand. And they play the Pomu, which is obviously very scary because the Pomu is very strong, as I said, mentioning against my deck. So I potentially have some sort of game here, maybe. We'll have to see, but it just depends if I want to go for a massive swing turn at this point. And I don't think it's worth it at this point, quite frankly, because if I lose too many resources, I just think it end up won't doing, like, I need to keep the resource in play essentially. So I swing with the Chikuri, it dies. The card that gets searched is the Nene, which means I don't get much going here. So I just go into the Dark Knight here for reduced cost of 4 to delete the Pomu, so I have a bit of an answer. And they do have the Grandis here, but they can't really go in the Grandis because they don't have enough memory. It would be really good if they could go into it, obviously, but I think Grandis costs 4 to go into, and you just can't do it, I believe, especially as the Tumon is there. So it's not a great situation to be in. Especially when you don't really have like an answer. This is always like the bane of like the existence of memory-based decks. And this is just me reminding them about the green memory boost. So they just go into the Grandis. They just didn't realise that the Tumon was there, which is perfectly fine. And obviously they don't gain the memory. So, because I think the X antibody Aquamon allows you to reduce the cost. So, yeah, not great, but essentially just don't have much going. But they get to suspend something, but obviously it doesn't matter at this point. Gonna swing into security, 1 check, double check, and then swing for game.